Hello world. Welcome to Python Machine Learning on the Edge. Machine countdown begins. 0, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello world. Welcome to RoboThought Zero to Hero series, Python Machine Learning on the Edge. Alright guys, we are on lesson number 5, NumPy for Machine Learning. Guys, in the last 3 to 4 videos, few lessons, I showed you a pretty high level inputs in terms of how to use NumPy and Scipy to get into the mathematical aspects of machine learning. Right now, the most important aspect what you need to understand is we will be using bunch of these libraries going forward from today onwards. All right, so it's very important that you have your NumPy installed, your Scipy installed, your Pandas installed and there is also another library called Scikit-Learn along with Keras. Okay, these are very important libraries for machine learning on the edge in Jetson Nano. Guys, remember one thing, we are using an edge device. Okay, it's a single board computer called Jetson Nano and we will be installing all these libraries. I had already showed you a couple of times in the other series how to install NumPy and matplotlib and kind of things. But to install Scikit-Learn and Keras and Pandas is a bit tricky, guys. It's going to take several hours of compiling the bundles and from the source. You got to build it from the source. So to make it easy, what I have done is I have done a lot of R&D and did some troubleshooting and picked up the right command from the NVIDIA forum, from the developers forum. All right. So I have put those commands. There are about 15-20 different commands which I had documented in GitHub, and I will put that link below the in the description of this video. All right. So before we get into the next series of lessons, make sure that you have Scipy, Scikit-Learn, Keras, NumPy and Pandas. All these libraries has to be installed by following the commands which I am going to put it down. All right. So once you are done, it's probably going to take about 4 to 5 hours to do the entire compilation and reboot your Jetson Nano and keep it ready, right, along with the Visual Studio IDE and stuff like that. Once you are done with that, and come back to this lesson, this particular video. So I am going to start in detail about NumPy and Pandas and Scipy and Scikit-Learn and Keras one by one, because these are the most important libraries in Python we will be using hands-on. Guys, remember, this is not a theoretical class. This is not a classroom where I am going to give you some lectures and you take a note. No, we are doing everything hands-on. It's a practical series and you got to have your Jetson Nano booted up and running next to you always for all the classes. All right, good. So let's get started with NumPy. So guys, basically NumPy is a Python library used for working with arrays. Okay, I taught you about arrays in the Python series, right? So it also has a functions for working in domains of linear algebra. Okay, linear algebra, Fourier transform and matrices. So in Python we have something called lists, which I showed you how the list looks like, right, which actually serves the purpose of arrays. Okay, it's nothing but an array. However, they are very slow, especially in Jetson Nano with just about 4 GB RAM and it's running on your SD card. Running huge sets of numbers is it'll choke up your system, right? So I would recommend NumPy. NumPy aims to provide an array object that is almost 50x faster than your traditional Python lists. Okay, so instead of lists in Python 3, we will be using NumPy. So that's how the replacement happens, and a couple of other tricks I am going to show you. The array object in NumPy is also called as ND array. Okay, So it provides a lot of supporting functions that makes working with nd array very easy and simple. So once you have your numpy installed, all you need to do is just import. I showed you how that import works, right? Import it into your IDE by adding the keyword called import. As simple as that. Import numpy, and you can also give a short keyword as np. Okay, so I am going to show you a couple of things on numpy. So we are going to start from this lesson. We are going to start getting deeper and deeper into numpy. All right guys, so be ready and let me open up my IDE. All right, I hope I'm logged in. Yes, I am logged into Jetson Nano and my IDE setup is ready. Great. So let me just show you a very simple example. Say import numpy. Guy, my Jetson Nano is absolutely set up with every Python library is possibly used for machine learning and artificial intelligence. So it's absolutely up and running great. I have tested multiple levels of algorithms, and I had run bunches of AI applications. It works fantastic. Only thing is you got to be really patient while doing the installation and configuration. Just follow the instructions which I have documented in GitHub. Follow the link. All right. And if you have any questions and if you are stuck, just leave a message. I'll respond to you. So import numpy, and then we will say for array as short form arr equals, you can put any name guys, so that doesn't really matter. Numpy dot array, and then a open bracket, curvy open bracket, and then a square bracket. Remember all the Python list which you saw, that's the same way the array is going to work. Okay, numpy array 1, say 2, 3, 4, 5, just a random number. All right, you can see the color changes immediately. That means your numpy library is perfectly working inside the array. Okay, now let us say print arr. As simple as that guys. Now let's run this program. Right click, let me just expand this. Right click, run Python. Oh man, right click, run Python file in terminal, and we can see the output. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5. It's as simple as that, right? So now what we need to do, I can show you an example of how numpy is usually imported under np. Np is nothing but it's an alias. Okay, it's an alias name for numpy. in Python, basically the alias are an alternative name for referring to the same thing. It makes your coding little bit easier, and you have to just declare at the beginning of the code. So that's how it works. So for example, to create an alias with as keyword, numpy as np, while importing, you need to just import numpy as np. All you need to do is as np. That's it. Okay, now the numpy package can be referred as a np package instead of numpy. So for example, once you put this in, and it's going to create arr equals, here you need to do np.numpy. Okay, np.numpy. Now let's run this program. It's going to throw the same output. There you go. Oops, yeah. So it's almost it's showing up some error, but that should be fine. That doesn't really matter actually. Has no attribute module numpy as np. Okay, it doesn't make sense guys. That's fine. As far as you get the output, it should be fine, right? So you know how this stuff works. Now what we can do is, in order to avoid that error, we can just remove this np dot array. Okay, and now let's see, you won't get that error, but you will get that output as 1 2 3 4. Why my mouse? Okay, all right, there you go, you got 1 2 3 4 5 and you didn't see that error, right? Because you put np and dot again numpy, so which is not required actually. So guys, this is a very simple example which I showed you, and I am going to basically talk about more details about numpy one by one, getting into details each and every functions of numpy, you know, how to import numpy as np and start building some statistics and play around with the sample data, which we used actually in the previous lessons. For example, this particular data set we are going to use for at least for next 10 20 30 videos across, including numpy and pandas and other libraries. All right guys, that's it for this lesson. Do give me a thumbs up. I am going to be back soon. Bye bye.